Hello fellow colorists, and welcome back to our Advent Calendar series where we are opening a page a day. Today is December the 14th, so we will be opening this page. Okay. And today's page is reindeer. So we've got a little North Pole castle up in the corner, and it looks like they are actually kind of possibly even flying or leaping around. But we have 3 reindeer, we've got some Christmas trees. So yeah, this looks like a fun wintry page. I will go pull out some mediums to use on this page and we'll get started. Going to mix it up a little bit today. I'm going to bring in some Neo Color 2s by Caran d'Ache. So those are the water soluble crayons. We're going to do the background in that, and then we're going to bring in some pencil crayon and some gel pen for the rest, and maybe a little bit of Winsor Newton iridescent medium on some of the things. So instead of doing the foreground first, deciding to do the background last, we are going to switch it up, and I'm going to do the background first this time. So let's get started. First off, I've got 4 blues that I want to test out. One is called Blue Turquoise, one is called Light Blue, a Cobalt Blue, and a Sky Blue. And I just want to see on white paper how they're going to look, and that will help me decide on what I want to use on the page. I'm just going to activate those 3 with water and wipe my brush off in between. You have to use a little bit of water as we are not using water ground on the paper ahead of time. Okay, I think this one is a bit too bright, so I will put that one back. So my basic plan is to color very lightly and then activate with water. I'll be using the lightest blue, probably around most of the background, then coming in with a darker blue on these bands where we have kind of like swirling clouds. And then here on the magical kind of rainbow area, I'll use a darker color, but I may also mix in some other colors. But we'll get started and we'll see how it goes. So I'm applying it dry, very lightly, and I'm using the side of the crayon so that it keeps it from digging grooves into the paper. I'm going to do a bunch of area, and then I'm going to bring in the second color, and I'm going to go over these lines here where the swirls are, and then when I activate, I'll activate them kind of at the same time so that they blend well nicely together. So I'll do a bunch of dry coloring on, and then we'll be back to activate together. Okay, we've got about 1.5 inches worth of pigments laid down on the top. So we've got the 3 colors. I added a purple for there's one area where there's actually dark blue and then another area right underneath. So I just added a bit of a purple there, and we'll see how that looks. So that's right here. But let's go ahead, and we're going to work from lightest to darkest. So we're going to start in the light blue area and just using the scumbling motion. I'm not squeezing on the water brush. Water is flowing down already. You have to be fairly quickly so that you don't have water pooling in any of the areas. I'm going to come up and do the blue area above it, and then I can blend them together a little bit if they're looking a little bit too harsh. There is a black line there already, so there is some definition. And we'll do this line. It doesn't take much scrubbing. And we're going back to lighter blue again. If you think you've got too much water on your brush, you can always dab it off. Back to darker blue here. And now we've got the purple on the bottom. And I have a little bit of the light blue underneath the purple so that it's not so shocking in a few spots. And if the purple is looking too stark, we can blend the top down a little bit. So that's how it's going to look. Okay, and this is the top area is complete. It's both activated. I'll wait for that to totally dry before I decide if I need to come back in with the second layer and darken up a few areas. But for now, we'll move on down further onto the page. We don't want to be adding too much water to one area of the page. So while that's drying, I'll start working on this area down here. And I will start with the lighter blue shade or blue color. And then in the areas closest to items, where there would be shadows and stuff, I'm going to use a darker blue, the darkest one, and put that close to the trees and in the areas where shadow would be. Like that. And down on the bottom in the corner. We've got the moon way down here. It's kind of different. Put a little bit of different color around this area too. I'll keep doing this and I'll bring you back when we're going to activate. I was looking at this page and thinking, what kind of questions does this page bring to mind? And the only thing I can think of is, do you know all of the reindeer names? Can you list them all? I'm sure that I can't remember them all. I'd have to sing the song, I think. But yeah, this page has 3 of the reindeers. Just activating it here. And my dog is snoring in the background, so I apologize for that. While I'm waiting for this bottom section to dry, I'm just going to start putting some purple in this area. I'm going to do it very lightly because I'm going to mix it with some other colors as well. So using the side of the crayon. And I'm also going to use the blue. It's a little bit heavier in this area. And then super light. We can always come back and add more color. It's kind of hard to take color away. Let's activate. Using the paintbrush stroking methods back and forth the same way that the illustration lines are, so that it makes sense and there's no swirling the other way. So basically following the grain or the direction of the illustration. Okay, this area is fully activated and I like the way it's coming out. I am going to need to do a second coat in a few areas, but I will need to wait for that to dry. The paper's holding up really well. There's no pilling as of yet, and I'm being careful not to scrub the paper when I'm using the paintbrush. So I will do a bit more in this area right here and the sky here and here, and then I will bring you back for a progress shot. Having fun so far. Little progress update on how the background is looking. Still only using the same colors that I had selected earlier. A little bit more left to do on the top third of the page, and then we will be done, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at it and see where we need a second coat. The page is dry first, and then we will reactivate, and then we will use gel pens and pencil crayons for the rest of the page. I'm not doing the snowflakes. I'm going to use a gel pen for them, and they will hopefully be sparkly. Here's a look after the page has been fully covered with one coat of Neocolor 2 and has been activated. We'll wait for this to dry now before we touch it and do anything else. See you soon. Come back in and did another light coat just on this area here. I wanted to define it a bit more. We'll activate that with water, and then we'll see how it's looking. When you have two coats of Neocolor 2, the top coat will activate with the bottom coat. So if you don't want to have any white spots, you need to make sure you're not scrubbing hard, because you just want to really activate the top layer and have it blend in with the original layer. Okay, this whole area is done. I need to let that dry. And now I'm just looking at the rest of the page and seeing if there's any that I would like to deepen up. And so I think I'm just going to come in here with some of this purple and lightly deepen up a few of these areas so they're a little bit more defined. Okay, I think I want to work on this area over here a little bit. You can also use the tip on the bottom and wet that, and that allows you to have some pigment and use the pigment onto the paper, and that's nice if the area is wet and you're concerned about rubbing the crayon onto the paper. Just taking the tip, getting a bit of pigment. There, I'm liking how that looks a bit better. Okay, we're going to let this dry for a minute. I'm going to take a brief break, and we'll be back to use colored pencils on the rest of the page. Our page is fully dry and we're ready to start coloring. I have selected to use today my Progresso Woodless colored pencils. It's a 24 set, so not a big set, so if there's any colors missing, we'll just go grab one from another pencil set. So no big deal. So I have selected to use brown and natural sepia and light gray so far. So brown is this color here. So now that we're doing some coloring, we can do a little bit more chatting and ask a few questions. I just wondered, this kind of reminds me of getting away and taking a vacation, and so I just wondered if you take a holiday, and if you prefer to take summer or winter holidays. I like to get away in the winter if I can, and get away from the snow and the cold a little bit, but this year no holiday plans. So yeah, comment below. Do you prefer a summer holiday or a winter holiday? I'll keep coloring and we'll get back to a little bit of music. So the first reindeer is done. I'm now going to take a Gamsol and blend out the color, and then I can see if I need to add more pigment anywhere. I've gone over all of the doodles as if they're not there, except for the stars on the backside area here. I'm going to come in, so I've colored around those for the most part, and I'm going to come in with a gel pen and do a gel pen over them. Going to have to go pull in a cream colored pencil from another set. This set doesn't have one, and I wanted to do cream around the eye and in the center of the ear area and under his throat. So, and the back of his tail. So that's how it's looking so far. I've taken two Pentel Sparkle Pop pens out. One is gold and one is silver, and I will just do these snowflakes on the reindeer's rump. Okay, we'll start on the second reindeer, and I've pulled in the color Ivory from my Polychromos set, and that's what I'm going to do the antlers in, and also around the eye and the tail. So I've added that also to the first reindeer. Okay, on the second reindeer, I'm going to use a gold jelly roll. So I've zoomed you in, and we'll just do the snowflake on his rump. Okay. Then you can see that there's going to need to sharpen my pencil quite a bit in order to get these tiny white areas gone. And now that the gel pen is there, I can see which areas are left, and I can get rid of them. Okay, we're ready to do reindeer number 3. Adding a little bit of detail to this area down here, just grabbed a metallic purple jelly roll, and I'm just going over the black swirling lines. Just finishing up the lines. I was just going to do the swirling ones, but then the swirling ones ended up going into straight ones, so I'm just doing the majority of them. Here's how our page is looking so far, and I think I'll do the tree areas now, and I'll just grab, I've got 4 different greens in this set to choose from. So we'll select some of those, I'll swatch them out, and we'll get going. I've selected 2 greens, a darker one and kind of a mid green, and I'm just using them both and varying, mixing them together. And I've also pulled out my Winsor Newton iridescent medium, and I'm going to paint that right over top of some of the trees because they've got snow on them. And instead of using stickles, I'm going to use that iridescent medium. So I will do some more trees, and then when I'm ready for that part, I will bring you back. Okay, we've finished the coloring of this, and I've blended it out with a bit of Gamsol. So now I'm ready to come in with a paintbrush and paint on some of the Winsor Newton iridescent medium. And I use it full strength right out of the bottle. Just put it on the small paintbrush, and I am going to put it on where there would be snow. So I'm just going to paint right over top. So not going to be on every branch, but it will be where there's drips and stuff. And you'll still see the green underneath once it dries. This is also another way to add shine to your page without getting a lot of bumps and texture. If you're in a double-sided book, you can add this. It is meant to be a additive to your watercolors. So this is not its main use, but it certainly is one of my favorite ways to use it. And as you can see, it adds some shine. Just finish a few more spots where there's snow, and that's it. We will zoom you back out so you can see how the page is looking. We've got some trees over here, and then we've just got the castle area. So we're getting there. Here's how the page is looking. I am ready to do Santa's house, and looks like his workshop. So I'm just going to zoom you in, so you may want to close your eyes. Okay, there we go. I have selected a new brown from the browns that I used here, plus one of the dark browns that I did use on the reindeer, and then I've also pulled in red because I think that Santa's, some of this kind of reminds me of like a candy cane. So I thought it would be fun to do maybe the doors and some of these areas a little bit with some red and some gold. So we'll just get started on this, and we're getting close to being done. We still have the snowflakes to finish. I did a couple of one of them in the blue Sparkle Pop to see how it looked, and then I've done a few of the dots in the blue Sparkle Pop, and then I will do the rest in probably silver and gold. I also have some washi tape here that I got, and I thought that doing a border around the page with one of these washi tapes might look nice. So those are the plans. I'll put the music back on while we finish coloring. here's how we're looking right now. I'll just take that out from there. So what we've got left are a few snowflakes around and some dots, which are probably snow items. So I'll just bring you up a little bit. You can see when you move the page, the iridescent medium. Okay, I did one snowflake in the blue Sparkle Pop, and it was okay. I didn't mind it. I'll do a couple more, and then the rest I will do in probably the two Sparkle Pops, silver and gold. And then for the dots on the rest of the page, I will come in with my Signo gel pen in silver. It's the most reflective, and we'll see how that looks. And then, like I mentioned, I'm going to try out a couple of different, they're very sparkly washi tapes I got from Walmart this week, and I thought that one of them might go well around the border. So I'll finish those off, and then we'll be back to look at the final page. Final look at our completed page for day 14, and it is all finished. I ended up going with the silver sparkly washi tape. I thought that the blue was just a bit too much. It clashed just slightly with the rest of the blues, and I wanted the page to stand out the way it was already. So I think the Winsor Newton iridescent medium is good. It reflects the snow nicely, and happy with this page. So as a wrap up of what we have used in supplies today, we used the Winsor Newton iridescent medium, a paintbrush, 5 Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2s, some gel pens, and the Progresso woodless colored pencils, and a X-Acto knife, and a couple of polychromos. And that's it for day 14. I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 15. And until then, have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.